Well, look, I mean, you know this for sure. That's what is behind me here, the African Nations Championship. The game is taking place in East Africa. This is for the first time. I mean, it's a big deal. And Kenya is going all out with investment in serious infrastructures like roads, railway, as well as stadia. For starters, I mean, Kasarani Stadium, one of the oldest big stadiums in Kenya, has undergone major overhaul, same as Nyayo Stadium. This is where the two events are taking place. And of course, the football showcase is also taking place in Uganda as well as Tanzania. And Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, for decades, I mean, we have always been your true sports partner, and we are the official broadcaster for the CHAN Championships here in Kenya. And you know what? We've laid out a proper and a well thought out strategy to ensure that we showcase this football live here on Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. And so apart from playing the games, the question we should be asking ourselves is, how do we pick the low-hanging fruits? By number one, driving traffic numbers in Kenya in terms of tourism, marketing the country as a sports hub. And I'm talking about not just football, I'm talking about athletics, basketball, cricket, hockey, lawn tennis, swimming, kayaking. Oh God, I can go on and on and on. And the question is, how do we bring all the critical stakeholders for this to be achieved? And how do we make these an everyday affair? You know who is joining us tonight. We're talking to the Managing Director of the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency. This is Keproba. We're talking about Floyce Mokabana. Keproba used to be, you know, is a merger of two institutions, the Brand Kenya Board and the Export and Processing, the Export and Promotion. Council. Yes, Council. Yeah, so they were brought together to brand Kenyan exports as well as brand Kenya accordingly. Thank you very much indeed, Floyce, for joining us here.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me this, I mean, if you were to describe the Kenyan brand, how would you describe it?
That's a very interesting question. Mm-hmm. The Kenyan brand is a brand, when you're talking about the touch points that build to the brand, we begin with our youth, young, energetic, entrepreneurial, mm-hmm. trainable. Mm-hmm. And that is, it is no longer a surprise that when you're looking at the people who use ChatGPT the most, the Kenyan youth form part of it. Mm-hmm. We're talking about our iconic products, our tea, our coffee, our nuts, our flowers that have gotten global visibility and are desired among the international space. We're talking about our culture, which is unique when you look at issues around us talking about the Maasais, mm-hmm. to the Turkanas, way down to the coast, just the vibrancy, and even the culture that is associated with our new tribes of the Asian and the European, which were last considered as tribe. Mm-hmm. We're talking about tourism that is associated with the big five, that is Kenyan, tourism that is associated with our beaches and our iconic sites like Masai Mara, and especially associated with the wildebeest migration. Mm-hmm.
Which is currently happening now.
Mm-hmm. And we're also talking largely also about sports. Sports remains such a brand for the country. Mm-hmm. We have already positioned ourselves as experts in long distance running, and there's a lot of mileage that you get from the sports of athletes. Mm-hmm. Also, rugby is one of the sports that galvanizes Kenyans, because the objective of a nation brand is not only the first objective is to be able to galvanize the nation in terms of pride and patriotism, to be able to push the brand itself, as well as create a perception, a global perception that is positive in the international market, which then allows the international audience to engage with our touch points through trade, through investment, through tourism. So that's what national branding is in in a nutshell, and what our nation brand is known for. We also have unique traits. We are known to be quite hospitable. So it is not a surprise that you find quite a number of international organizations setting their headquarters here in Kenya, not to mention UNEP. We are known to be hospitable people. So I can go on about the national brand, but generally that's it. We already have a brand that is known in the international market. When you look at the listing of nation brands through the index that is known as Brand Finance and Anholt's index, we rank around 50, 55.
In the world?
Yes, in the world.
Out of 192 countries?
Yes, yes.
I mean, what you've described is what would be described as the cornerstones of Kenya's brand. I mean, you talked about tourism. You know, the country is ranked as one of the top tourism brands in the country, in the world, actually. But there is a new trend that is emerging, and countries are tapping into into sports so that they can expand and rebrand. Are we looking at this? Countries are also looking at things like shopping destinations. And I'll give you a good example. A lot of people, they go to Dubai for shopping. Are we also looking at adding into the baskets, our traditional basket, to make the Kenyan brand more appealing?
O'Brien, you pick a very important aspect of brand building and brand maintenance, that you need to be able to evolve as a brand, you need to be able to grow. And it is actually a cornerstone of brand management. And as part of growing, you mentioned the idea of being able to be seen as away from the traditional tourism that you've been known for. And in Kenya, allow me, because our focus is on sports, to give you an example around sports. And you think about the high altitude training that is in Iten, that is actually run by our elite athletes, most particularly Lona Kiplagat. And you find that it is such a symbol that allows other athletes to come and train in Kenya. Speaking about that sports as well, recently we've just concluded Osaka 2025, where we had a Kenya Day. And because we understood that athletes is a brand that Kenyan is known for, we actually gave a platform for Japan to be able to run with our elites runners in a fun run. And we were amazed at the response that came from there. You would find the event was booked even before the Kenyans. We had to give up our spaces as Kenyans so that the Japanese can be able to run. And they were very positive about it. So what you're talking about is that these Japanese were able to associate Kenya with running and wanted to be part of it. So that even there's now a discussion about doing the same thing, a Japanese chapter, but right here in Kenya. And then again, it gives you an opportunity to be able to engage the tourism, the tourists who are coming from Japan for this particular purpose and for the reason of sports and athletics. So you find, as a country, we're already aware of the fact that as part of brand management, evolving and growing should be an aspect and a cornerstone of it. And in our own way, we work towards it. Even as we talk about tourism, and something that is also related to trade, because we realize that that's it. When you know we have iconic products like coffee and tea, we actually are having tourisms who do coffee tourism, where they just go and see how coffee is grown, how it's roasted, tasted, so that then what they know about in the international market, they're able to touch and feel and create and engage a relationship with the product as it is. And that has already created another form of tourists that you're thinking about.
When you look at efforts to rebrand Kenya and give it a new face and a new name, I mean, this came about in 2009 after the post-election violence, that really tainted the image of Kenya. When you look at the journey that we have covered and the milestones that we have achieved, in this endeavor, are you comfortable that we are on the right trajectory when it comes to giving Kenya and breathing into Kenya a new lease of brand?
You actually allude to important aspects about our nation brand, that even as a country brand, and brand Kenya is a creature of 2007, 2008, after we had that episode of election violence, and we needed to create a new brand. And because of that, we have been able to see some milestones that have been done. First of all, we already have a nation brand and a country brand, which chooses Kenya as a destination of choice for trade, tourism, and investment, so that when you think of either one of them, our response to you is to make it Kenya. And in all those brands, because we also realize as a nation brand that it is a builder. It is built among, there are many building stones to the national brand. We have given space to each of the organizations that work with the touch point that is necessary. For example, if you're talking about trade, the touch point, we have Keproba as one of the people who push it through our Make It Kenya brand. We are able to engage with that brand. We give the international audience an opportunity to engage with it through various touch points, through our trade missions, through market linkages. We also are very careful that we're able to give a narrative, a communication narrative that is supportive of the Make It Kenya brand and manage the Make It Kenya brand. Another very important aspect is that we've been able to develop the Made in Kenya mark. The Made in Kenya mark is a mark that identifies Kenyan produced products as authentic, global, and of high quality. And it allows, along that space, we have seen very many Kenyan entrepreneurs and manufacturers pick up the mark and share that as a Made in Kenya mark. And one of the aspects that come out of it is, especially when you look at one of our leading supermarkets, it has a shelf of Made in Kenya and branded as Made in Kenya. So that would be something that already speaks to the fact that we are positioning Kenyan products as Made in Kenya, and we want to be associated with that high quality, authentic feel.
Very good.
Yes.
Floyd, we are taking our first break of this interview, but when we come back, we shall be doing a SWOT analysis of the Kenyan brand, and of course asking ourselves, what low-hanging fruits are there during the CHAN championships, and how are we repositioning ourselves to pick them and run with them? Very good. I mean, if you're just joining us, we're talking to Floyce Mukabana. She's the CEO of Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency. And our conversation is, of course, what is on your screen, how branding Kenya as a sports hub. You're watching us live from Broadcasting House. The time coming to 21:47. We are taking a break. We are coming back with more conversation. And, of course, the big stories of sports are coming up next. Welcome back. We're in the company of Floyce Mukabana, the CEO of Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency. Our conversation tonight is how to brand Kenya as a sports hub. Let's go straight into the conversation. Floyce, tell us this. I mean, CHAN is coming up, you know, in a couple of days from now. How positioned are we to project Kenya's image as a sporting hub?
That's a very interesting question in these two senses. That we have this opportunity that allows the whole of Africa to have its eyeballs in Kenya. And in fact, in some instances, we are going to get visitors who are here to support their team.
Yeah.
And with that, we also have a team playing in this match. So then we also have an internal audience of Kenyans who are ready to support their national team, because we want to also be part of this conversation that is going on. That gives us unique aspects to be able to position Kenya as a brand. First of all, through its citizenry and the support that we're going to give Harambee Stars, we want to come out as an energetic, passionate people who are able to support their own. And in that regard, I encourage as many Kenyans as possible to take that opportunity to engage with the Harambee Stars at the stadium, as well as through KBC, CHAN Eco KBC, that's the hashtag, so that we are all rallying towards it. It's a moment of galvanizing us and showing who we are collectively as Kenya. But even more importantly, we have eyeballs on Kenya now that we are hosting this. It is an opportunity for us to be able to engage the different touch points we have of trade, investment, tourism, culture, people, hospitality, with the people who will be engaging, our international audience. So if we have visitors who are here, we allow them to engage with what is Kenyan, in terms of allowing them to see the infrastructure, the opportunities that are available, the Kenyan products, but most importantly, appreciate the Kenyan people and the Kenyan culture. I would imagine that that is a platform for us to be able to showcase the very best we can in terms of culture, as much as we can be able to share with them what it means to be Kenyan. I also note that within the two stadiums, which is Nyayo and Kasarani, there is a national park not too far. We want them to engage with
that's Nairobi National Park.
Nairobi National Park, so that they can also engage in that space. But it's also an opportunity for them to understand the Kenyan life, the Kenyan nightlife. Engage with the brand, look at the investment opportunities, see what it is, so that at the very instance, we expect repeat tourism. Having engaged favorably in Kenya, they're thinking, this is a place that holds good memories for me. I want to be able to come back and do tourism. It also allows us, especially with the eyeballs that are across through TV, to position our products, our tea, our coffee, our nuts, our flowers. So whenever we have an opportunity to be able to showcase that, even in the normal planning of the event, that would be good. For example, let us be able to ensure that the gifts that are being given have got a discussion about what is our iconic products. So we want to share that with our visitors who are coming to join. But let us be also open to how we treat these people, because one of the things that we do is to be able to show Kenya as a home of high quality talent that can be used and are able to, are hospitable. And because of that, it allows us to attract talent. That is an opportunity for Kenyan talents to showcase itself to the global world. So that then there is an opportunity, they would want to be able to be associated with Kenyan talent and hire Kenyan talent.
I want to hear this from you. When you look at the Kenyan brand, and when you run through a quick SWOT analysis, what are the downsides or the down risks that we face?
The thing about nation branding is about being able to uniquely position yourself, so that when they see that, they're associated with Kenya. And especially because in this space, we are also sharing it with our neighbors who have almost similar tastes and preferences. That position of trying to be able to create your own uniqueness can be a challenge and a weakness. If especially you focus on that and without being able to really pick on what distinguishes you from the rest of your competitors. And that can be one of the narrative that we need to be able to create and be careful about. Especially if you speak about it. At one point, and especially when you look at athletics, it was a Kenyan affair, but these days you see that.
You see Ethiopia, you see Uganda is also coming up strongly.
Yes, and that's my point. So now that issue of trying to uniquely position yourself, and that also speaks to the fact that you need to be an evolving brand, because what you're strong at, you maintain, but also look for opportunities with which you can be able to grow. Very well. Yes.
I'm sure, you know, as we come to the conclusion of this conversation, I'm sure you're participating strongly in creating visibility around Kenya during the CHAN. And so what message would you be telling the people who will be watching these matches?
For us, CHAN presents a very important opportunity to be able to showcase Kenya. The first step, and as one of the brand builders, the citizenry of Kenya, I'm hoping for there to be a galvanization for the support of Harambee Stars and supporting their teams. So that is one of the first clarion call that comes as Keproba and those who are charged with managing the Kenyan brand. The other thing then also would come out is to look at and view the global audience and see what we can be able to showcase about Kenya. And in my take, it's good organization, talent, our iconic products, the fact that we have tourism spaces that you can be able to do, and just allow them to engage with the various touch points with a view of them having a memorable opportunity to be able to showcase Kenya.
And finally, what would you expect to be our lasting legacy out of Chan?
For me, the legacy will always be that Kenya can be a destination of choice to undertake international events. That this is just the first of very many, because we already have the requisite infrastructure. We have the associated infrastructure that is related to accommodation, sports, transport, logistics, telecommunications, and that we have the talent that will allow for seamless operation of any international event, so that we are not only going to be talking about Safari Rally, for example, WRC, but now we can also add international football organizations and international marathons to this.
Very good. Floyce, thank you very much indeed. And which team, by the way, will you be supporting?
Of course, Harambee Stars. There are no two ways about it.
Team B?
There is no Team B. Why would I have a Team B, Brian? Why would I have it?
Very good. Thank you very much. I mean, I know all of us are rallying behind Harambee Stars. And of course, we can't wait to see them in action against DRC Congo this coming Sunday at Kasarani International Stadium.
I hope you'll be
you're going to be there?
Yes.
Oh, right. I hope to see you there then.
Okay.
Very good.
Yes.
Enjoy your night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Asante sana. Floyce Mukabana is the CEO of the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, KPROBA, joining us tonight here to give us some tidbits on what they are doing to reposition Kenya as a sporting hub.